Welcome to video number 3 in my Veterans Moving Abroad YouTube series. I'm John. I'm an American veteran. I'm here in the Dominican Republic. I'm currently in Santo Domingo. I'm trying to make these videos coherent, so if you watch them through, they kind of help out and make sense. The videos will gain specificity as I go. The first video that I did was about myself, my mission. The second video was when you shouldn't move abroad. And one thing I'd like to add to that is a lot of it is about timing moving abroad. It's not that you shouldn't move abroad, it's just that you went abroad too soon or you didn't do everything you needed to first, and that led you into problems. So this video is going to be addressing some of the myths and misconceptions about veterans moving abroad, getting into some of the mistruths and truths out there. Before I dive into it, I would like to say that things change. That's the one constant in the world, is obviously change. So any specific things that I say can adjust over time, and it's good to get secondary verification and do your own research when it comes to everything. So we'll dive into it, and the first one, the one that bothers me the most, because I hear it every single day, is that you cannot receive your VA benefits abroad. This is patently false, not true at all. Don't know why people keep saying it. And I think it bothers me because I hate it when people are so confident in their wrong opinion or their wrong assertion. Like, it's easily researchable, Google, ChatGPT, whatever. So I have the VA website up in front of me. If you're a veteran who, If you're a veteran who lives overseas, you remain entitled to the benefits and services you earned through your military service. Essentially, you're not in the fucking military anymore. They cannot tell you where to live. Those are earned benefits. It's not like when you got out, they were like, but you have to stay here in the state of Florida, you have to stay in the United States of America. Of course not. Regardless of where you live or your nationality, you can get them. Secondly, you can't even deposit your VA benefits and military retirement into foreign banks, which a lot of veterans do, with the exception of like North Korea and Russia, but the majority of countries, you would be fine. You only lose your VA benefits and military retirement if you revoke your citizenship to the United States, which you wouldn't do. There's no reason to do. You can even get your SSDI, your Social Security Disability Insurance, abroad, which a lot of veterans do. Okay, myth number 2, you'll lose your VA benefits if you get dual citizenship somewhere. No, same as kind of myth number 1, you remain entitled to your VA benefits even if you get citizenship in another country, or dual, or even 3 citizenships, or a retirement visa somewhere. That does not impact your benefits in the least, so don't worry about it. Myth number 3, you can't get healthcare abroad. I'll do a more in-depth video on healthcare, but to begin with, you can get TRICARE abroad. There are some great resources out there for it. You can use the foreign medical program abroad, which is what I do here in the Dominican Republic, and I pay 0 out of cost for service-connected care. Third point there is that healthcare overseas is oftentimes far cheaper than in the United States, far less hoops to go through, far less insurance, far less bullshit. So if I want something, a lot of times I can just walk into a pharmacy and get it, whereas in the United States, it is a painful process and far more expensive. So I know veterans, for example, that move abroad and their cholesterol medication in the United States, that's hundreds and hundreds of dollars per month. It's like $4 a month. So anyway, myth number 4, it's not safe outside the United States. We have this perception of the United States being safe and other places being dangerous. Lately, I think the reverse is true. American cities feel very unpredictable and very dangerous. And I think the unpredictable nature of American violence is kind of the scary part to it. The concept of like mass shootings or homeless people attacking you or a riot breaking out or something like that. The randomness and the unpredictability, I think, are the scary part. Most of the areas that you would go to or you would live in are going to be safe, especially because they're like heavy tourist or expat areas. Myth number 5, you cannot use your VA loan abroad. This one is true. You cannot use your VA loan outside the United States and its territories. So you can in like Puerto Rico and Guam and any other United States territories. If you could buy a house abroad with a VA loan, I would have a bunch of fucking mansions and we would be partying, but I don't. So, myth number 6, expat life is not for families. Many families choose to thrive and live outside the United States. I hear a lot from parents, I wanted to raise my kid my way. I wanted more time as a family, which is hard to get in the United States. I wanted to avoid school shootings, some of those things. I wanted my kids to be bilingual. A lot of reasons for families to move abroad beyond just the cost of living aspect. The quality of international schools is higher oftentimes than American public education. You do have to pay for it. I'll do a future video on international schools. So your kids can still go to colleges in the United States. All the schools you go to abroad will be accredited. That's not to say that there aren't challenges to moving abroad as a family or as a married person or anything like that. But you can do it. It is rewarding. And I'll get into future videos about that. Myth number 7, you cannot own property abroad. True some places, not true others. In Dominican Republic, where I'm at today, you absolutely can. You have full property rights. You can buy land, houses, whatever. Some places make it more difficult for foreigners, country by country. Some places you have to pay extra taxes. Some places you can rent or lease a condo for like 50 or 75 years, like in Asia. In some countries, buying a property can be a fast track to citizenship. So like if you go, I think some of the European countries are like that. If you buy a certain house, spend a certain amount of money, then they give you a retirement visa or whatever. Differences between in the States is you're gonna need more cash down in the United States. A lot of veterans are used to like VA loans with like 0 cash down. That's not gonna happen anywhere else. Myth number 8, you can't move abroad if you don't speak the language. There's a good one. When I moved to Dominican Republic here, I spoke 0 Spanish. I lived in Thailand for a year prior to coming here, and I cannot say one word of Thai. So there's a little bit of difference depending where you go. In Thailand, nobody expects you to learn the language because it's really fucking hard. Here in a Spanish-speaking country, it's easier to learn, easier to gain some phrases, and no matter where you go in the world, English is the language of tourism and of business. Now you have Google Translate, you have all these apps. If you do want to learn another language, moving abroad can be the best way to do it. My Spanish is probably 75%. I'm very comfortable in any Spanish-speaking country as far as getting by goes, but if it came to a very complicated conversation or a lot of people were talking at once, it'd be tough. So that's why a lot of veterans choose to move like to the Philippines, because everyone there speaks English. So that can obviously be like one obstacle removed. I've heard some veterans like Jamaica. I didn't like Jamaica. Jamaica's like the one country I've been to I probably wouldn't go back to, but they do speak English there, so you remove that obstacle. Myth number 9, you cannot own guns abroad. That's pretty much true compared to the United States. If you're looking at a map of the world, the United States would be like strap the fuck up, and everywhere else, not so much. Guns in other countries are very expensive, harder to obtain, lots of paperwork, bureaucracy to go through. There are some places you're not going to own a gun no matter what you do or who you are. Japan comes to mind. Some of the Asian countries I know are very, very gun restrictive. Vietnam, Cambodia. Like in the UK, you can't get a handgun no matter what you do, but you can get like a hunting rifle if you do the permits and stuff. I usually tell veterans, because there's one thing I hear a lot, if gun ownership and having a gun is critically important to you, then you either don't need to move abroad or you need to go somewhere like Canada. In Mexico, you can get a gun if you go through a lot of stuff, a legal gun. I mean, I'm referring to legal gun ownership. You can do what you want. This is on you. Okay, myth number 10, you have to be rich to move abroad. Of course, this is not true. In fact, if you make 60,000 US dollars a year, you are in the top 1% of global earners. In the United States, you have to make like 800,000 to be in the top 1%. So plenty of people on middle class life or middle class pensions tend to move abroad, because then you can afford places like where I'm at now. You can afford a maid, a pool, you can go out to eat more. It's a lower cost of living. So obviously if you have steady income or remote work or something, then you can move abroad and live abroad. Living abroad is not vacationing abroad. There is a big difference. So there's 10 myths for veterans moving abroad. You can read more about them in detail with citations in my book, Veterans in Paradise. the Veterans Guide to Moving Abroad. Again, this is my third video. If you do want to see something else in future videos or want me to cover certain topics, I will certainly dive into them. I want to give veterans the confidence that moving abroad is possible, and to kind of show you the ropes so you make less mistakes along the way. You're still going to make mistakes. You're a veteran, so you're probably used to making mistakes. But thanks for tuning in, and I will be back to you with video number 4 shortly.